Hey everyone, Zen here with the Earhart Ziegler Library, and today we're going to be talking about using generative fill in Photoshop. So let's get into it. So first off, you're going to want to make sure that you open up Creative Cloud and make sure Photoshop is up to date. Only the latest version of Photoshop has generative fill enabled. I believe they just shipped it. If you can't find generative fill in Photoshop, you can also look in the beta apps and look for Photoshop beta and download that version. So once you have that, just open up Photoshop and let's use a test image today. So this is a test image that we made earlier, and let's say this is a render or something that you're working on. So there's a few ways you can use generative fill with Photoshop. The first way is you can use what is called Contextual Expand. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the crop tool right here, and we're gonna expand this image to the left slightly. And so once you expand it, you're just gonna hit generate, and this is going to expand the scene all the way to the left using the context of what is already in the image. So just give it a moment, and boom, there we go. So you see that once it's expanded it shows up in your layer with a mask, and you can turn this new layer on and off if you want. It's not always perfect. As you can see, there's some clear difference in quality and a little bit of weirdness in the blending, but from further away it looks pretty good. You can retouch this using other methods if you want. Now, the other thing you can do with this is you can use it to change certain aspects of your image, to edit certain aspects of your image. So let's say we are not a big fan of this path over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the other polygonal lasso here, and we're just gonna select the boundary of this path and close it like that, and that's our selection. And we're gonna click on generative fill, and let's say we want to change it to rock, rubble, gravel, path, gravel path, stone path. Yeah, I think that should be enough. So let's hit generate, and now it's just gonna take that area and turn it into hopefully what we want. Sometimes generative fill can be a little bit hit or miss, so you might need to try a few times to get what you want. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, like it's changed the path, but it has this weird border, and it usually it'll give you 3 options. So you can cycle through the options and see if you get what you're looking for. If not, you can go ahead and change the prompt and switch it up. But as always, it's on As always, it's on a separate layer here, so you can turn it off or on as you'd like. Now, the next thing you can do with generative fill is you can include subjects in your image. So instead of, say, including people, like usually you would be dragging people in, you could say lady walking a dog and hit generate on a certain area that you specify. And that should hopefully give us what we're looking for. So there we go, and here we have 3 variations. So as you can see, like, it doesn't generate, it's not amazing at generating people. If you were to generate people of higher resolution up close, sometimes it looks really whack, like it just doesn't look right. But for our purposes, for let's say if you're doing something like this, which is an architectural render, it looks good, right? Another thing you can do is if your image already has people, you can remove objects, or let's say like remove people or remove like things. So let's say you want to get rid of this couch over here. You're just going to hit generative fill, and you're going to leave the prompt blank unless you want to replace it with something specific, and hit generate. And what it's going to do is it's going to get rid of the object, and it's going to replace it with some kind of ground based on the context. And so you can see here, this one makes a bit more sense, or this one makes a bit more sense. I think the first one looks weird. Yeah, this one looks a little bit weird. So sometimes you kind of have to play around with it and it depends on like how you draw your bounding selection. So like if you were to draw, maybe if I were to draw the previous one to, oops, I was like that. If I were to draw it so that it selected more of the surroundings, that contextual information will make it into the prompt and maybe make it blend a little bit smoother. So it's based on you to sort of curate how you're selecting objects and areas to remove and, you know, change up. So that's pretty much it for Photoshop Generative Fill. There's probably a billion other ways you can use this, but those are the most basic ways for now. So see you next time.